Hello and welcome to First Edition. With me today, our interviewer Chloe Townsend. And in the programme, after the German rail crash, we ask how safe are high-speed trains? Attacking birds and stealing rare birds' eggs. What makes people do it? And the children of Circus Ethiopia come to Brighton. The horrific train crash last week in Germany killed almost 100 people and left more than 40 seriously injured. A faulty wheel is thought to be the cause of Germany's worst rail accident since the Second World War, and people are now questioning the safety of high-speed trains. Oliver King reports.
For the victims, survivors and eyewitnesses, everything stopped last Wednesday morning. A horrible accident with huge casualties. The German train crash left not just physical injuries but emotional scars. A dozen coaches had concertinaed into a bridge at high speed, leaving a tangle of metal and concrete. Emergency services and some British soldiers based nearby struggled for over a day and a half without a break to rescue survivors. Many of the dead had severe injuries and were difficult to identify. The Intercity Express was carrying nearly 400 passengers at 125 miles an hour from the city of Munich in southern Germany to the port of Hamburg in the north. North of Hanover, approaching Eschede station, the front of the train passed under a road bridge when a coach came off the tracks, forcing the rest of the train to collide with the bridge. Recovering in hospital, this woman spoke of the train shaking sideways before she felt a big bang that flung her off her seat. Investigators now think a damaged wheel forced the coach off the rail when it passed through the points before the bridge. The coach had nowhere to go but into the pillars. The German Chancellor, Helmut Kohl, was quickly on the scene to express the nation's grief. Small children had been amongst the dead. The railway immediately recalled its express trains for checks and reduced their speed to 100 miles an hour. But the worry is the wheel had already been checked. The lessons to be learned from this accident, though, will be closely studied around the world. Japan's bullet trains run at a higher speed than the German Express. France runs fast trains too, and with Britain planning similar high-speed links to the Channel Tunnel, engineers want to ensure no shortcuts are taken with safety by reducing journey times. But how safe are these trains?
Nothing's perfectly safe, but on the other hand, trains are just about as safe as you can get. You take a risk whatever you do, and certainly crossing the road behind me is going to be a lot more dangerous than travelling in a train.
Accidents will happen though. Last September, an Intercity packed with passengers ploughed into a freight train at Southall in West London. And 7 years ago, 35 died in Clapham as a result of faulty signals. However remote the chance of crashing, some, like the victims' families in Germany, must just wish their loved ones had caught another train. Oliver King, for First Edition.
Well, now with us in the studio is Bill Bradshaw, professor at Oxford University and himself a former British Rail manager. Chloe.
Is it possible for a crash on the scale of the German one to happen in this country?
Yes, it is. It's something which nobody who runs a railway or an airline can ever say that a crash will not happen here.
Should people worry about travelling by rail as a result of this crash?
No, people shouldn't worry about travelling by rail. For example, 96 people, I think, were killed in Germany in this train crash. 9,600 people were killed on the roads in Germany last year. So the point about a rail crash is it all happens at once and it's very spectacular. But every day in Germany, lots more people are killed in road accidents.
And is rail travel more environmentally friendly than other sources of transport? And is this a good reason for more people to travel by rail?
The faster you go in any means of transport, the more energy you use, and therefore that is less environmentally friendly. But if trains don't go fast, and if they aren't reliable and frequent, people won't use trains. And that's what we have in America, where virtually nobody uses trains for passenger travel, and then everybody uses cars, and that is less environmentally friendly. So the railway has to be attractive, and it has to try to be energy efficient.
But Chloe, there is something in this particular crash which must worry the professor here, because he has the experience of the railways, and that is that something went wrong that could have been avoided.
Yes, all metal components, again, whether they're in aeroplanes or trains, are subject to fatigue failures. That is, with the bending stresses you get, there will be failure in metal. Now, what you have to do with the test is to try to detect that failure before it happens. You do it when the components are manufactured, and you do it during their life. Now, why this particular failure wasn't picked up at an inspection, I don't know, but I know with our high-speed trains here, every night they go up onto pits